Chapter 503. Originally, his plan was to sufficiently provoke Baron Dermond and then leverage the interrelationships among nobles he knew to draw out Duke d'Arca himself to the scene. Even if everyone knew that d'Arca was behind Dermond, it made a big difference whether that was explicitly revealed or not. If he could just compel Duke d'Arca to personally deal with someone of low-born origin, he could bet that those who didn't particularly like House d'Arca would be quietly pleased. Whether it's this side or that, everyone wants to muddy the waters of the cavalry's success, but that alone won't make them committed enough to sail in the same boat forever. From Dermond's ramblings, it was clear that the elaborate ruse they had set up before the party was aimed at causing undue tension in the cavalry and ruining public opinion. People wield the most power in attacking what they themselves dread and avoid. In this empire, what nobles fear most is the loss of their honor. Long periods of stagnant peace have made fights over rotten honor even more potent than armed conflicts. A low voice resonated in Uther's mind. It was a recollection of something Kishir had said in his previous life when forcefully sitting him down to lecture him on the duties and virtues a cavalry commander should possess. If you truly want to scare them, drag them down to our level. Even a single mingling word can seriously tarnish their honor. This method is faster and more effective than a punch, especially when we are seen as inferior and have nothing to lose. Back then, he hadn't fully grasped that words could be stronger than fists, but as he grew older and experienced more, he realized that it was not untrue. Although the current situation didn't seem too favorable for the cavalry, those who had stepped up from this side were mostly members who were either of low-born origin or had never really fit in among the nobles. The point was, if they were dragged down to the same level, the other side had much more to lose than the cavalry did. Uther untied the gift package he had been holding in front of Baron Dermond. A long crimson-tinged glass bottle revealed itself. Alcohol. He had suspected as much from the weight and the sloshing liquid inside. The name struck on the surface was also not unfamiliar to him. Qualochet. Upon reading the name, a few individuals started whispering with surprised faces. The world was full of unique drinks for the culinary adventurers out there. Qualochet was one of them. Although its color resembled ordinary wine, it was actually brewed from various dangerous toxic materials that had been processed. While the most dangerous elements were removed and it was diluted enough to be drinkable, it still remained hazardous. Occasionally, people even died from consuming it. Still, just like there were people who enjoyed pufferfish dishes or venomous birds or scorpion cuisine, there were also quite a few who enjoyed this risky beverage. Many believed that if drunk carefully, it could even contribute to a long, healthy life, and it sold well as a gift. Among the ingredients that went into Qualochet was a fluid extracted from monsters. In his previous life, Uther had received a poisonous liquor as a gift that was based on this drink, but had additional monster blood mixed in. I had expected something like this, but really, how cliché. Lord L, do you know what this drink is? It's a famous liquor made by mixing poisonous ingredients. It's also known for containing the bodily fluids of poisonous monsters. Ever asked Pruel, whose expression had soured. The members, surprised by his answer, began to murmur amongst themselves. It has what from a monster? So, is this poison alcohol? Strictly speaking, it's not poison alcohol, but it's hard to see it as a graceful gift either. Despite the prickly words, Baron Dermond showed no change in expression. He looked down at Uther, who was quietly observing the liquor, and spoke with an oddly friendly yet arrogant tone. I thought there would be no more fitting gift for one who risked their life to slay monsters. Of course, dangerous ingredients were used, but I have drunk it without a problem. dot dot dot. As you may or may not know, the traditional way to reciprocate for celebratory liquor at a party is to drink it right away. Are you saying I should drink this right now? Someone protested sharply, and Baron Dermond chuckled. I didn't say that. If you are scared, then there is nothing to be done. But was it not Baron Ale who agreed to accept the gift? As assuming as it is, he did use his brain. If Ydir were to reject the gift out of fear of poison, he would effectively be insulting the giver. If he chose to drink it and something happened, he only had himself to blame. If a commoner like him suffered any harm from drinking the poison, few would take his side. Either way, it was a win-win situation for Dermond. In such a situation, where nobody knew what else was in the drink, they all would have avoided it. However, Ydir was not in such a situation. He smiled faintly. Very well, I like it. Let's drink it now. Ydir! The members called out to him, their faces filled with angry and worry. Their unfamiliar yet familiar expressions seemed to not know what to do. Amid the palpable tension, Ydir picked up one of the glasses on the table and effortlessly uncorked the bottle. He looked around and then called someone close to him. Kana, would you mind pouring for me? Me? Yes, you. Startled, Kana seemed to realize something. Until today, she had always avoided Ydir with an odd expression, but now she seemed to have no intention of doing so. She hurried over and took the bottle. As the purplish liquid flowed into the glass, a fine sweat appeared on Kana's forehead. Close to her hand, an ethereal energy flickered, indicating she was using her abilities. To assist her, Ydir subtly summoned a breeze. Now, even the subtlest sound from Kana's lips could be heard loud and clear by him. Before coming here, someone tampered with this. It feels like something was added, probably a drug that induces stomach pain. Dot dot dot. Ydir, would it be okay if I pour just this much? Kana emphasized the word okay loud enough for everyone to hear, a worried look in her eyes. Ydir nodded his head, responded decisively. It's okay, that's enough. Are you sure it's all right? I might get a little drunk, but it should be fine. All right, understood. Kana, who had seemed reluctant to hand over the glass, finally let go. Ydir took the glass and without hesitation drained it completely. The cavalry members clenched their teeth and murmured quietly amongst themselves. Then, moments later, he set the glass down with a nonchalant expression. The alcohol seems fine, but it's not to my taste. Still, since you have offered it, I will gladly accept. Really? Are you all right? Yes. The expression of Baron Dermond subtly changed. Ydir raised his hand and called over a servant. After ordering a glass of water as a chaser, he asked for another empty glass, causing Baron Dermond's gaze to grow increasingly suspicious. Since you have offered such fine alcohol, it's only polite that I return the favor. I would like for you to have a taste as well. As Ydir poured alcohol into the new glass, Baron Dermond seemed to realize the shift in the situation and took a step back. No, Why so? My stomach isn't feeling well today. The drink was bought to celebrate, so there is no need for me to partake. Your stomach isn't feeling well? Ydir conspicuously directed his gaze toward the spot where the Baron had been sitting. Traces of alcohol and fruit remained, evidence that he had been eating before standing up. It seems the food I ate may have disagreed with me. Getting sick from eating the food of the Imperial Palace? I would think that this is a serious matter that even His Majesty the Emperor would be concerned about. Exactly what did you eat? Shouldn't this require a thorough investigation? Baron Dermond was momentarily at a loss for words. As Ydir called the servant over again, the Baron scrambled to excuse himself, saying that as he'd gotten older, his stomach had become sensitive to certain foods. It was painfully obvious that he was trying to backpedal, but No one present was inclined to let him off hook so easily.